Voila, welcome to season 4 of Maikana. As you can see, we're at the GBH, the old lady. This season we're going to do something a little bit different. The chef here, Georges from France, got a French chef, is going to create a signature dish specifically for Maikana. And we're going to have something, you've got to pay a bit of attention here because we're going to have a bit of a competition after this, which is, you'll have to go to the Facebook page and have a look. I'll explain after the show how to enter. For now, let's go and meet Georges and start cooking. We're at the GPH, Maikana, season 4. I'm here with my friend Georges. Bonjour, Georges.
Bonjour.
Voila.
Voila, voila.
And we were talking about before the show. Obviously, this is not an accident. We know what we're doing here. You're going to create a dish especially for Maikana, is it?
Exactly. Yeah.
And we're going to actually shoot the whole season here. This dish today, we're going to use it as a competition. So we're going to be asking you to do some stuff with the dish and enter it in the competition. The prizes we'll sort out later. What was the concept behind the dish?
Well, the concept behind the dish is to use local products, things that you can find here, and to create something a bit innovative, something which comes a bit out of the normal path.
Yeah. And we're using pork as a main meat.
Exactly.
For a bit of island flavor.
Yeah, we're using Vakaya pork, the small Vakaya pork. It's a baby pork, something big. Why I choose Vakaya pork? Because it's a very nice meat.
Yes, yeah. And but we could use lamb or.
We can use lamb instead for those who don't eat pork.
Yeah.
We can use
so that'd be good. And this comes from Wakaya, is that correct?
Yeah,
Wakaya Island.
Yeah,
exactly. So it's bred in suckling pig. Those of you like pork, it's a good one.
Not the best.
And what are we going to do with it? Just obviously, I don't think we're just going to roast it in the oven.
Well, we're going to sear it. We're going to sear it first. We're going to wrap it in an oat and whiskey crust.
Yes.
Why oat and whiskey? Because obviously whiskey, oat.
This is just porridge oats.
It's
yeah.
So
something you can buy in the local shop.
Yeah, exactly.
Sounds a bit Scottish, actually.
Yeah, Scottish. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Scottish hint. So it will be wrapped in this oat crust, and it will be served with those sweet potato blinis and red beetroot.
Yeah, blinis are little pancakes.
Yeah,
so
little pancakes. Yeah.
So kumala blinis.
Yeah, exactly. And the beetroot chutney.
Oh, lovely. Yeah. Sounds really good. Should we go and have a look in the kitchen?
Yeah.
Great.
Of course.
Gonna go and cook. So we've got some stuff on the
stove.
This takes a bit of time.
That takes a bit of time. That's why we started a bit early.
We started a bit early. And this is a chutney.
This is
like a marmalade.
Beetroot chutney. Exactly.
Beetroot chutney.
Beetroot marmalade.
And you're going to just take us, show me how to.
Yeah. So we have the beetroots, finely chopped onions, red onions, ginger, honey, and red wine. Well, we can replace this beetroot chutney with normal pineapple chutney or mango chutney or
whatever
papaya chutney, whatever.
Something that's nice and sweet and
a little bit sour.
Yeah, sour that goes with the pork. Huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Great.
Then we start. So we start with chopping the onions, of course, which is
this is how to chop onions.
The preliminary work.
The first you need when you're chopping onions is a sharp knife.
Yeah, that's the basics. That's the ABC of.
Somebody told me that they said I was complaining about chopping onions in someone else's house. And they have a knife. So I think the back of the knife was sharper than the blade. And I was trying to chop, and he said, someone said to me, "A bad workman never blames his tools." And I said,
well,
a good workman doesn't have bad tools.
That's good. That's right. That's exactly what I said yesterday to my cooks.
Do they have their own knives here?
They have their own knives. Yeah, most of them have their own knife. So, then in a pot, we just put all ingredients together.
Yeah.
So for that recipe, you don't need to shred really the onions because it's going to anyway give all the aroma.
Don't worry about the amount of ingredients. We'll give everything at the end of the show. You'll have a list of the recipe and the list, plus you'll be able to go up online and get it too. You want me to stir that? Or?
No, it's fine. It's okay. We will just mix all together. It's, for a chutney, it's not really important to stir that. Then the ginger, ginger, grated ginger.
And this is fresh beetroot.
This is fresh,
yeah.
fresh, all fresh.
You can buy fresh beetroot here. It's not common.
Fiji and honey.
Yep. It's good honey, isn't it?
Yeah, very nice. But quite rare still, huh?
Yeah.
The wild honey.
It's expensive, yeah.
Quite rare. Actually, for a country like Fiji, we could expect to have a
lot more bees.
A lot more bees and a lot more honey. But as you know, the bees are everywhere.
Yes.
Dying out,
yeah.
Unfortunately. Yeah? For some reason.
It's my favorite part here.
Well.
That's how to put wine in something. Don't worry about teaspoons or tablespoons.
No, just put it inside. I mean, the alcohol will anyway evaporate.
Yep. Now this will be reduced quite substantially.
This is going to cook for a long time.
Yeah.
For 1.5 hour minimum.
Hour and a half. So it'll be reduced about maybe 1/3 or a quarter.
Less than
very,
that.
very thick.
Less than that. It should be thick. As thick as better. Huh?
You can have a look in there.
That we have the almost.
Yeah.
Almost,
it's like jam, isn't it? It's like a
almost finished product here. Yeah. Yeah, it's still not really finished, but becoming near to.
Yep.
That.
It smells fantastic.
Mm.
It smells like nothing else I've smelled. I mean, you smell sauces and things like that.
You can see the nice shiny color.
Yeah.
When it starts to be like that, then it's really coming into interesting status. Yeah.
And this is really just the vegetable soaking up all the honey and
the honey and the flavor of onions and the flavor
wine.
of the wine. Yeah.
And all the alcohol's burned off. There won't be any alcohol.
No, there would be any alcohol. When you think the alcohol goes away by 72 degrees Celsius.
Okay, so this will
evaporates.
be
so
even before it's boiling.
It's boiling for 1.5 hour, so it's 195 degrees during 1.5 hours.
Yeah.
So there's no more alcohol. Next step would be to prepare the crust. As you know, this is the baby pork will be prepared in an oat crust.
Yes.
So we have then oatmeal.
Oats.
Normal oat, like same for the breakfast or for.
Instant or rolled oats, or doesn't really matter.
Roll oats. Yeah. Roll oats is fine.
Better.
If you do instant, of course it goes faster. This is roll oats. Yeah. So roll oats. What I'm doing, I soak it in for one night.
Okay.
In the whiskey.
Yes.
That is the favorite.
Yep.
I can imagine. And we just soak it in the whiskey for one night.
Yep.
So it will get softer.
The test then is not to eat it as muesli for breakfast.
Yeah, well, if you eat whiskey oat for breakfast, I think you can
have a good day.
All the day.
Yeah. So maybe you just prepare twice as much, one for the pork, one for breakfast.
Yeah, all right. We have the garlic.
And again, with this is going in the oven. So
this is going in the oven after.
The alcohol would all evaporate.
Alcohol, but the taste will be still very strong,
yes.
Because I put quite a lot of
The taste is of the whiskey, not the spirit.
Yeah. So garlic as much as you want.
Yes.
Just put a little bit. I don't put too much, not to kill the nice taste of the pork meat. So then we have here flour.
Yep. Just ordinary plain flour.
Plain flour, normal baker flour.
So that just holds everything together.
Everything's together, yeah. Then we have the herbs. Here we have tarragon, chopped tarragon.
Yep.
Chopped tarragon, which is not really easy to find in Fiji, but you can.
But you could make up your own.
Up your own herbs, whatever.
You could use dhania and
exactly
basil,
parsley, chive, I didn't use basil for this recipe, but you can put coriander.
Yes, I was thinking the basil and the whiskey might have be a bit too powerful.
Yeah, yeah. For people who don't drink alcohol, who don't want alcohol at all in this recipe, as I said, you can change the beetroot chutney for a normal pineapple chutney, and in this case, it would be replaced by milk.
Okay.
It's very nice with milk too. Very nice.
Milk rather than the juice.
Yeah.
Yeah. But again, it's up to you what you want to do. This.
Yeah.
Make the dish your own. I think that's
exactly. So I put almonds. The almonds for the crispy side, you know, to get also a nice texture. Will give you a bit more. It will make it a bit more. How say, fluffy?
Yes.
Yeah, more light.
Bit of texture.
Texture, yeah. And finally butter. Yeah, and then we gently mix all together, just with a spoon. Huh? You can also use the hand if you want. The butter should be soft, not liquid, but soft.
Yes.
Otherwise,
so
it will be too hard to...
if it's liquid, it just becomes a stodge.
Yeah.
Here, you got to hold it a bit together like a light pastry.
Exactly. It's a pastry actually. Finally.
Yes, flour, butter.
Flour, butter, and Well, and fine salt, huh? Sea salt.
Just a pinch of salt.
Sea salt, we should also forget for the chutney. Of course, if you want it spicy, you can put chili.
Chili,
Chili, I know. But as a good Frenchman, I don't use so much chili.
No. More garlic than chili.
Yeah, I'm more garlic and herbs, Chili a little bit sometimes, but not really. So you see it's getting ready.
Yes. Just like a pastry.
Nice pastry, And when you soak the raw oat overnight, it's even more like a pastry.
Yes, because they wouldn't break up totally, but they'd be quite soft.
They will be soft, Same like for a muesli, for instance, when you soak it in overnight or just before breakfast. So, then what I'm going to do, baking paper, and just put it. Can be cling film, clear film, clear wrap, whatever.
But not newspaper.
Newspaper is not so good, no, not good idea.
Baking paper, greaseproof paper.
Yeah, greaseproof paper or clear film. Clear film, whatever.
You're not going to put this in the oven, are you?
No. It's just to have it even roll out, if you prefer. Just to make it
because if
nice.
you use a rolling pin on this, it would just stick.
It will stick on
everywhere.
Right? Yeah, that's clear.
And you'd have garlic and whiskey flavor in your kitchen for a week.
If you make bigger quantity, you can use a rolling pin.
Yeah.
You can make you can do it with a rolling pin and a bigger piece of paper and just roll it like this, So this can be prepared the day before.
Yes.
That's a good thing. You keep it in the fridge. Anyway, it needs to cool down. So this is very easy. Right?
Now, could you could use something similar to this on a roast chicken or
on a chicken, on a fish?
Yeah. Yes.
On a fish?
Yeah.
Why not?
That's when you could use your basil flavor.
Even for vegetarian dish, why not?
Yes.
Vegetarian dish.
A vegetable pie.
Yeah, it can be used. It's more or less a base, like a crumble or something, And you can use it on many different preparations. I would not recommend it for dessert, but however, we are open.
One of my favorite desserts, I make a wundi crumble with papaya, with pawpaw.
All right, yes, pawpaw and papaya, that's great.
And then just put coconut on top.
You could also put inside is some lemon zest. Or orange, even better, orange zest.
Spread a bit of orange and
Yeah. That's also nice.
Would you put that in the beginning or
no, just at the end? If you put it at the beginning, too early at the beginning, the aroma will
just go away.
Fly away. Just a little bit around this stage.
Yes.
So now we have this. So it's ready. We just put it in the cooler, not in the freezer. Just in a cooler.
So you stick it in the fridge for half an hour?
Half an hour just to get it a little bit hard.
Yep.
You can, as I said, you can prepare it in the day before.
Yep.
You can do it the day before and just prepare it whenever. Now,
And this is
the balsamic vinegar.
balsamic vinegar.
Balsamic vinegar.
And a good, if you didn't have balsamic, just a side of wine vinegar.
Red wine.
Yeah,
vinegar
white. Yeah.
in that case. So, as I
This
just
one.
said before, we just put some orange zest. Not too much, huh? It should not overcover the taste.
You just want a hint of the.
Just a hint of the orange.
What a lot of people don't realize is there's probably more flavor, orange flavor in the skin, in the oil, than there is in the actual orange.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
So for a cook, this is the most important. If you're doing an orange cake or orange cookies, put lots of the zest in it, because that's where all your real good orange flavor is going to come out.
Yeah.
Not so much the orange juice itself.
So,
That's it on that.
that's it on that. Now, we're going to work now on the Kumala
Bellini.
blinis.
Kumala pancakes.
Kumala pancakes, yeah.
But little pancakes, more like pikelets. I think the English call them pikelets.
Exactly.
But here you don't, pikelets would have baking soda or baking powder.
You don't need any.
You don't need, this is just a nice, what you would call in Fiji a panikake waidala. It's got nothing that rises in it, no yeast, no baking powder or baking soda.
So for that we have the Kumala.
That's been put through a mincer,
Yeah,
so you
yeah,
could just mash it.
yeah,
That's
I-
cooked.
That's cooked,
Yeah.
of course. That's cooked and mashed. Huh? So it's just mashed with a mixer. And we have the almond powder, some almond powder.
I just thought of a good substitute for that too.
Can be hazelnut,
Yeah.
can be macadamia nut.
Leave it up to the viewers.
Exactly, exactly. Some flour. A little bit of nutmeg powder. Be careful, nutmeg is very powerful. Huh? So we don't need to add so much nutmeg, it would kill completely the taste of.
And nutmeg is rarely available here. I mean,
Yeah.
you can buy the whole nutmegs and grate it
Yeah,
yourself.
exactly, exactly. Some pepper, always. Some salt. And some cream. So just put all together and put it on the fire. So you're going to have like more or less like a puff pastry.
Yes, yes, yes.
Puff pastry base, yeah. Let it nicely dry out. Huh? It's not
So it shouldn't be too liquid. Nice,
no,
nice,
it should be
a nice firm dough,
firm, yeah. You see,
but not
Nice,
sticky.
Not sticky. Should not stick on the. Don't let it burn also. Huh? It's very
Yes,
easy,
yes.
very easy to
My
burn.
favorite trick.
And then at this stage we're going to add the. You see, it's not sticky at all. Huh?
Yes, yes, yes.
At this stage we're going to add the eggs. 2 eggs for that recipe.
The very first thing I tasted in France when I was a little boy, I think I must have been 7 or 8 years old, was we came on the night ferry from Dover to Diabet,
Yeah.
and there was a crepe truck. They just sold the crepes with with lemon and sugar. That's
Yeah.
all. And that's the first thing I ever tasted in France. And to this day, any pancake I absolutely love. And I've still been trying to make that recipe for 20, 30 years now.
All right, when it's like this, we put it in a bowl and let it cool down. So now what we're going to do, we're going to beat just simply beat the egg white in snow. So I'll give you a little trick for those who are not really used to who have problems with the egg white,
Yes.
just add a little bit of sugar or a little bit of salt at the beginning of the process.
And it helps it fluff
It
up.
helps it getting, yeah, it makes it liquid.
Yeah, okay.
And you
Oh, it breaks the, yes, yes, I
yeah.
understand. Yeah.
You will always have a better result with
Old eggs.
old
Yes,
eggs
yes, yes.
than with fresh eggs. Yeah. Well, it is fresh eggs, but
It's funny, there's two, from my memory, there's only two things that work better with old eggs. Egg whites and
Yeah.
boiled eggs.
boiled eggs. Yeah.
When you have to peel them.
Yeah.
You can't peel a fresh egg very well
Yeah.
because the
well,
membrane is still attached.
If the egg is too old, you get also problems because the egg yolk will be
Yeah.
out of the egg. Should not be too old. Yeah. So you don't make it too hard.
It's not a
Doesn't bring
meringue.
anything. It's not a meringue. So it should be okay.
Just a little
It's
piece.
holding on the whisk.
Yeah.
It's okay. Yeah. So
You want me to just,
yeah, if you
stir it, fold it in or stir
yeah
it?
you sit full and after just stir it just like this.
So this will give the pancakes a really nice light texture, yeah?
So when you need to mix egg white into a mass or into a dough or whatever, we always mix 1/3 first like
Okay,
this, and
yeah.
then the rest very delicately.
Yes.
Now you're going to go very
It's just
delicately.
folded,
Yeah, fold it into the dough.
Okay. So the first stuff is mixed and this is just folded. So you don't want to kill all the bubbles and
Beautiful ingredients here. Nice cacao, nice
yes,
chocolate,
yes.
mango, papaya, bananas. Yeah, why not? All right. Here we are. This is the one, huh? What we're now simply going to do, we're going to take a little bit of olive oil and we're going to do these little pancakes.
So that would be about a tablespoon size,
Yeah, a tablespoon size, a bit less, more or less.
and they should sit up like that, like little cakes rather than spread out like a pancake or a pikelet. It's a little bit more,
Yeah, it's more bit,
a lot thicker.
Yeah, thicker. Yeah.
And you could use any kumala for this.
Any, the blue
orange,
one, the
yeah,
purple one,
yeah.
orange one.
That's what it should look like. That's perfect.
This color. Not too dark.
Getting hungry.
Yep. Smells also nice. Sweet smell. Oops. So just put it on the on a piece of
Paper to soak the oil, huh?
yeah, paper to soak the oil. It's not too oily. To put a bit of olive oil is also nice, or rather than butter. Butter would burn too easily. It gives a nice taste. All right, now we're going ahead with pork, which we will wrap in the crust. But first we're going to sear it. So this is the suckling pig.
Yep.
Yeah. So as you see, it's very small. Huh? It's still a baby, more or less. You can of course do it if you don't have suckling pig available. You can also do it with the
loin.
The loin or the rib.
Yep. Yes.
I would say either the rib, because the rib is not so, it's more moist.
Yes.
It's more fat
And
in
it
it.
is the bone too.
It brings
There's a
taste,
saying: the closer
taste.
to the bone, the sweeter the meat. And
Yeah. Then you would cut it quite thick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice thick
So it stays juicy.
to keep it juicy, because of course it's going now to be wrapped in the crust. And
Yep.
just quickly in the oven, just to give the
And
crust.
and the same with if you're using lamb, you use a rack
Rack of
roast.
lamb, perfect. Rack of lamb is just perfect. If you would like to use lamb leg, you can also use lamb leg. But then it would be rosé in the middle.
Yes, yes,
you
yes.
pre-roast it.
Yes.
And you just wrap it in the crust and put it. Actually, this crust is very
Flexible,
practical
yeah.
because you can use for
And it also
plenty of things.
it keeps the taste in, and it keeps the moisture in as well.
Exactly.
And it imparts some of the flavor from the crust into the meat.
Exactly.
So you got the best of all worlds there.
Yeah, exactly. Just salt and pepper. Not too much. Yeah, salt and pepper.
My attitude to salt and pepper, well, pepper no problem, but the salt is I'd prefer to add it now than have it on the table.
Yeah.
So it really flavors the meat, brings out the flavor, and you just use a little bit.
Exactly.
Whereas if you cook it and you've got to put it on afterwards, I find you use a lot more that you don't need.
Yeah, and it's not salty, right?
Yeah.
As everybody knows, salt is a young
Wow,
people.
look at that. Now, the viewers at home are saying, why is it so small? You could do a nice big... This is basically to make it look beautiful on the plate, and,
of course.
this would be what you'd serve
Of
at the
course.
restaurant. But if you want a big hunk of pork and a big...
Yeah, of course
that-
you can, of course, this is not
It doesn't have to be all beautiful and pretty, although presentation I think has a lot to do with how a meal look, how something tastes. I find if you just have stuff chucked on a plate, it doesn't seem to taste as nice as something that's really beautifully presented.
Exactly. We eat with the eyes as well as
That's right,
as well as with the palate.
So this is we're not cooking it here. We're just sealing the outside.
We're searing the outside. We wrap it in the crust.
Yeah.
So talking about the salt, you just talked about salt. I don't put so much salt on it because we have plenty of herbs in it.
That's right.
Don't forget that when you use herbs, you actually
Don't
use
need the
just
salt.
a little bit of, especially parsley and tarragon gives a lot of salt already.
A lot of flavor.
Natural flavor and natural salt. For people who have heart problems, you can replace salt by herbs.
Yes.
So your food will still taste beautiful.
In fact, if people just wanted to reduce their salt intake,
Yeah.
So when you're cooking a curry, leave the salt out.
Yeah, that's clear. Yeah. So that would be enough. But here the same. We will use a paper to absorb the. Oh, our chutney is almost done. Meanwhile, it was cooking and cooking. Be careful, but when you arrive at the end like that, it's quite easy to burn at the bottom.
Yes. Okay.
Don't forget it on the fire.
Yes.
Because as
it gets thicker, there's
yeah.
no water, and of course there's so much it caramelizes the sugars in the vinegar, which start to turn bitter and
and to burn. So you see, just remove the excess of fat and oil. So we let it cool down a bit. Bit, otherwise
it won't stick.
The
butter in there.
The butter will melt, and then after we wrap it into the crust. All right.
So this is the wrapping.
That's the wrapping, yeah.
I'm interested to see what happens to the bones. You wrap it all up together, or?
Yeah, we wrap it all together.
The whole thing.
Yeah. The whole thing, completely wrapped. So, like a little packet. You see.
So this is why it's important to put it in the fridge so it firms it up.
Yeah, that's still
otherwise we'll.
Yeah, but if it's too hard, also it's difficult.
It'll start cracking.
It starts cracking, yeah. All right.
Lovely.
There we are. Very simple.
And then after this, goes straight in the oven. You've got a hole.
Yeah. See that. You can also use a spatula directly to wrap it. It's just the result is better if you use this. All right, here we are.
How long would you roast that piece for?
Oh, that's very, very short, 6 minutes.
Okay.
Just
so we par cook the pork anyway, so the meat.
Yeah, the pork should be rosé.
Yes.
Pork should be rosé. So because it's obviously not a it's just a certain pig, so
yes,
nice,
yes.
Nice moist.
Yeah.
If you want it well done, then you leave it a bit longer. So 5-6 minutes should be more than enough.
And if you didn't have a pan you could put it in the oven, you could just do it in a roasting dish, or even biscuit tray or...
Yeah, biscuit tray, of course. Actually we could put it inside this. We have stainless steel tray.
There you go.
That's even better than a pan, actually. So, since really a bit too... we will put it now in the oven and...
see it when it comes out.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Okay. All right. Now we're going to set the plates. Everything on plates. The chutney, which is nice.
It's easy, yeah?
No, it's easy. No, it's easy, really. It's not nothing difficult in that. After 30 years practice, it's very easy.
That's right.
So I did a little sauce.
Yep. A little gravy.
A gravy, with the bones. So
that's just reduced stock.
This is a reduced stock, reduced pork stock from the bones of the circling pig, right? These two. We have here some few vegetables.
And really, the vegetables are whatever you've got stuffed in from the market. And these are beets.
These are carrots.
Oh, purple carrots.
Purple carrots, yeah. For the fun, for the exotism. Keep it a bit exotic.
Yes.
These are beets.
Yes.
Just to bring a bit of color on here.
See, this is an art. I mean, this is one of the things where I fall down is I'm an artist by trade, but I find it very hard to plate food. Again, 30 years and 5 minutes. And this is the pork.
That is the pork.
Spectacular.
And that's it. Bon appetit.
Amazing.
I don't put too much sauce for that dish because the moist of the meat is there.
You don't need a.
I don't really need. If you want, you can just put one spoon of sauce.
If you're doing it at home, you put it on the table. Right, you can find that on Maikana Facebook page. This is where it becomes very interesting. Facebook members, Maikana Facebook group, You're invited to recreate this dish with your own particular spin. You can change anything you want, but the basic recipe and the basic ingredients should be the same. You can use any meat, you can use anything in the crust, you can use any vegetables, you can use any style of pancake. But what we want is meat, vegetables, and a starch in the same way. It has to be a sort of pancake or something similar. Now, all the details are going to be on the Facebook page. You can check it right there now. You can also find this recipe. The winners will have a cook-off. The final 3 will come to Suva. We'll have a cook-off at the GPH, cooking something extra special, and the winner has some very, very special prizes. GPH, thank you very much, GPH. Great venue. We're going to be shooting here for the whole season, and we're going to be in a different place every time, I hope, and fantastic food like this. See you next time.